there are certain items that Melody and we don't list anymore. And not just because they don't sell. It could be because we don't want the hassle, that we don't want to spend the kind of time it takes, or maybe we don't want to assume the risk it takes. In this video, I'm going to tell you the types of items that we don't pick up anymore, and I'm going to tell you why. And so maybe you can avoid some of the traps that we've fallen into. One of the first things that we avoid are items with high rates of return. For example, cell phones. Cell phones for us get returned a lot, mainly because people don't read the ad enough to know exactly what they're buying. So it may not work with their carrier, or they thought they were getting a brand new one. I get those back at a far higher rate than I do my normal return rate. Our normal return rate is 1.7%. So when I start getting items that get very, very far above that, I just don't want to mess with them. So I don't. Another one with a high rate of return that we don't like to mess with is anything that falls, the health and beauty that falls under the makeup umbrella. Makeup gets returned to us a lot. They didn't like the color, it made their skin break out, or it didn't handle the shipping well because it got too hot, or there's 1,000 different reasons it seems that those things get returned. And it's tempting to pick makeup up because makeup is expensive. It isn't that I would completely walk away from it, but man, it would have to be something super special that I know I'm not going to get back. Remember, returns aren't just annoying, they're incredibly expensive. And it's not an expense that we want to assume. Second category, these are those items that create shipping problems. For example, I don't like to sell glass. I would if it were really, really valuable, where I can pack it in a way that nothing could have. They could drive over it with a tank and it's still going to make it. But the reality of it is, if I'm looking at a piece of glass and it's $20 to $40, I'm never going to be comfortable shipping that. So I just avoid it. I like all the glass sections that other people congregate to. I walk right by it. I don't like shipping glass. I also don't like things that are incredibly big. And again, it's an area where some people, that's what they focus on. But if it's going to take a monumental effort for me to pack it up, bubble wrap it, and get it into a box, and then get it to the post office, I don't want to mess with it. And that has stopped me from selling some things that I used to enjoy selling, but it just costs so much that the item has to be incredibly valuable. Like fishing rods. I used to sell a lot of fishing rods, but gosh, when you get a fishing rod that's 6 feet long or longer, it can be incredibly expensive to ship, hard to store, hard to pack. Things that create shipping problems, I just avoid. All right, the next one. Man, let me tell you, section 3. Things that get a lot of Vero and copyright claims. I avoid those like all day, every day. I just don't mess with them. These are companies that have filled out something telling eBay exactly what they want done with their brand and their copyright materials. Keep in mind, eBay is a private company. They can decide whether or not you can use certain things on their site. Way back when they first started, they chose to support the company Veros and copyright claims instead of like the first sale doctrine. And you can look up the first sale doctrine. That's the right of, I bought it, I own it, I'm allowed to sell it. But you're not allowed to sell it on a private platform that told you that you can't. A good example of that is the word Velcro. If you use the word Velcro consistently in your listings, they're eventually going to get pulled down. And if you keep it up, you're eventually going to have a real problem. Vero complaints can eventually shut your account down. The list isn't comprehensive. So if you get a message from somebody about a listing, take note, pay attention to it, and do what you have to do to get it resolved. Because remember, you could probably fight some of these legally, and you may still lose, and it's going to be unbelievably expensive. So for us, if I know that there's a high probability it's going to get tagged with a complaint, I don't do it. So the ones I know, like Velcro and Beachbody, Otterbox, if you know of others that, or maybe you've had some actual issues with, post them in the comments. All right, section 4. Some of these things are tempting, and those are those things with a really low average sell price or really low sell-through rate. A good example of this would be the Disney movie Up, the DVD. If you look online, on eBay, there's a ton of them for sale. But there's only a handful sold, and the price is really, really low. So even though it's a great movie, selling the DVD for us, I would walk by it every time because it's not going to be worth it for me to sell. Generic coffee mugs are another thing we don't even look at. I may pass up that one mug that was actually worth a lot of money because I'm not going to go through all of them. Most of the generic coffee mugs just aren't worth any money, and they sell terribly. If you look this up, in the last 3 years, 281,000 coffee mugs have sold. That sounds like a lot until you look, and there's over 1 million of them listed right now. That sell-through rate is terrible, and the average sale price for a coffee mug is terrible. So unless there's something special, we would never list a coffee mug. It's not worth it for us to spend 10 minutes listing something that stays listed for 9 months and then sells and we make $4. My time is better spent with things with an average sale price that's higher and a better sell-through rate. There are some things that have become no-go items for us. I don't bring home projects anymore. If it is going to take an extensive amount of work just to get it ready to list, I don't need to do that, because what'll happen is I'm going to bring it home, but I'm going to list the stuff that's easier to list first. And this item ends up sitting there forever. Either shoes that really needed cleaning that I never wanted to do. I have the Row. I have one of their shirts right now that the retail price on it was thousands of dollars, but mine needs a few stitches and it's still sitting there, even though it's got a higher price. It's just, I just never did it. Other things that I will pass up every single time, things with strong odors. Smoke is just a killer because we are really sensitive to it, which means that if I sell something like that and it goes to somebody like me, they're not going to be happy with it. So if I pick something up and it's got really strong odors, I'm just going to pass it up. I don't know what kind of price range it'd have to be in for me to mess with it, but if it's got strong odors, I generally don't want to mess with it at all. Which brings me really truly to the last one. These are items that they might be bread and butter for somebody else, but for us, we don't mess with them hardly ever. And a good example of that for us, electronics. And right there, there's somebody watching this, and I'm sure they're like, electronics, that's where all the big money is. I know. I hate it. And let me tell you why I hate it. I don't have the knowledge and skill set to properly vet these things. I don't know how to take an electronic item and make sure it's functioning properly, because ultimately I want my buyer to be happy with what I'm sending them. And I don't know if they're going to be happy when I go through electronics because I just don't know enough to make sure. So outside of a very few rare things that we would pick up and I just know that somebody would want it to restore it, I avoid all electronics. When you build your business, it is perfectly okay to take a video like this or somebody else's Bolo video and to go through it critically, because it's your business. It's not mine. And you may be like, man, electronics are the first thing I want to sell. And 100% it's okay to disagree with somebody like me who's got these categories and things they don't sell. Because what that means is when I'm at an estate sale and I pass up some wildly expensive electronic, it'll be there for you when you get there. Just because something can be listed doesn't mean that it should be listed. Most importantly, it doesn't mean that you have to list it or that I have to list it. Be critical when you're picking up things, and you'll spend more time listing things that you're happy to list that are going to sell for you. That's it for this video. Truly appreciate you guys watching. I'm going to see you real soon on the next one. Bye.